What is going on, world? I am the Hungarian Experiment, and if you've been following along my journey, if you've been seeing some of these videos and you see me mentioning this one thing, this only one thing that I'm going to commit myself to here on the Hungarian Experiment YouTube channel over 2019, well, then you found the right video, because in this video I'm going to mention and discuss this and discuss why. Now, if you want to skip all the bullshit, you just want to know exactly what it is, you can skip to the mark that's in the description box below. You're going to miss a lot of the whole reasoning behind it and why I'm doing it all, but this is the whole point of this video, and this is why I want to lay this all out. My journey is not easy to explain. I want to really try to accomplish things with my journey on this rock, and I've understood that it's going to take a long time, and I'm willing to sacrifice. I'm willing to do whatever I have to do to get there. Now, the whole reason I'm only committing to this one thing this year is because last year, over 2018, I committed to a lot of things, and to be honest, I didn't 100% carry out them all. To be honest, I didn't carry out a lot of them, and it's not like I'm upset or disappointed in myself, but I just don't like doing that. And I don't want to do it this year. I don't want to commit to things. I don't want to say I'm going to do something. I don't want to put my word out there and not fulfill it. So again, at the end of this year, you guys probably saw, if you've been following along my journey, I did 3 months of microdosing experiments. I was experimenting a lot with psychedelics, and it really gave me a lot of introspection and understanding and perspective into my own life. And this was one of the major things that came out of it. I realized, wow, it's like I committed myself to a lot of things, and I'm going to cover some of them here, and why I believe I failed or why I didn't fail, and why I was able to accomplish other things but not stay committed to these. So if you guys were following along there, at the beginning of the year, I wanted to make a video every single day over 2018. I just came out of a long, extensive, brutal ending relationship in Christmas of 2017. So in 2018, I just wanted anything to keep my mind off of that. So I indulged myself, I engulfed myself into work, and videos and making videos was easy for me. It was super easy. I learned, after 3 years of experimenting regularly, almost every single day with YouTube and this platform and making videos, it became very easy for me. So I was like, you know what, this is something I'm gonna do. I'm gonna commit myself to this. But then, around day 40, around day 45, day 50, I was like, man, is this something I really want for myself in life? Is this something I really want to do for the next 300 days? And I realized I didn't. I burnt myself out, and that is one thing that I extremely failed at. Along with that too, in those videos, I also committed myself to doing offset experiments. And although I managed to carry them out for several months, I don't believe it's extensive enough to really discover or prove anything on your body, or anyone can really prove of, a couple months of doing a physical exercise. And just like the stomach vacuum, I wanted it to be something that was like a year-long kind of deal. And just with everything that happened, which I'm about to discuss here over 2018, that just things came up and I just wasn't passionate about doing that. So I just was like, okay, don't really care about this. Let's focus on something that's providing real results and it's things that I'm super interested and passionate about right now. So that was another thing that I failed at. I committed to this thing and I just didn't do it. I just failed. A few other things that I failed at was like the social lab. I'm not even gonna dive into that whole thing right now, but that was something that we were like in the public limelight. A lot of people here in my city became aware of this thing that we were trying to do, and we failed at it. So I don't know what people are thinking about me. Again, I try not to allow that to affect me, but that is just another thing that I committed myself, I put myself out there in the world, I put myself in this uncomfortable situation, and trust me, I'm glad I did it, but it was just another failure. It was something that I overly committed myself to. I didn't fully understand what I was committing myself to, and I was just like, you know what, just like other things in the past that I've just went and gone for, I'm just gonna go for it, I'm just gonna do it. But I didn't realize how much time and effort and energy actually went into that, and how much it was pulling away from my own passion. So social lab was a fail. I failed at hitting 315-pound squats. I finally started to get my squats really good over last year, and I'll be mentioning it later, but I finally got up to 300-pound squat, and I was like, you know what, I got another month and a half of this and I'm gonna make it to 315. And again, I'm about to discuss this, but something big came up And I just stopped going to the gym for a couple months because I was like, you know what? This is something I'm just so much more passionate in right now in my life. And that's something I have to be able to mitigate and understand and control, is that my life is so situational and I'm in such a unique place in life that new things are coming up all the time, and I just don't want to overly commit myself to anything. So along with that, I also committed myself to learning Hungarian through the neurohacking experiments. And again, with this other thing that came up, I was just like, whoa, like I'm just so much more interested in this right now. So failed at learning Hungarian, failed at the social lab, failed at the 315-pound squat, and I also failed at getting optimized my online e-course out to you guys. And I honestly think this is something that's going to benefit a lot of people out there. It's going to break down how to take advantage of every single factor in your life so you can be optimal, so you have an optimal amount of hormones pumping through your body every single day, no matter if you're living a situational lifestyle like I'm doing right now, or you're adding negatives in. You can still keep yourself optimal. You can still keep this thing running at a high level where you're having high amounts of just natural growth hormone pumping through your body. But again, I failed at creating that course. So again, I'm not beating myself up over this, because as I'm about to discuss, I accomplished a lot of other things in life. And I want you guys to hopefully understand that too, that just because you fail, it doesn't mean you're a failure. You just got to keep pushing it. I'm going to learn Hungarian. I'm definitely going to learn Hungarian eventually. It's something I want to do. But just as new things were coming up, I was like, man, is this really a priority for me right now? Is this something that I'm really passionate about right now? Is this something that's going to move the dial to get me forward in life? And, you know, as I mentioned, through that introspective phase of taking psychedelics and magical mushrooms, I really started to weigh and question things in my life. So now that we got all the things that I failed at committing myself to over last year, let's cover some of the things that I did manage to accomplish. So over last year, I gained just only about 4,400 subscribers. I gained about 7,000, but I also lost about 3,000, which is okay with me. I know I'm a little controversial. I know I'm a little different. I know I'm not really trying to game the YouTube algorithm at all yet, but that is something that I'm going to mention in this video that I will be doing for 2020. But during that time too, I also managed to get 2.2 million views on YouTube, and I wasn't even trying last year. So that just blows my mind that, you know, I dedicated my life for 3 years to something I was super passionate about, which was YouTube. And then I could basically take a year off and I still managed to get my face, my experiments, my ideas and my theories out to 2.2 million different sets of eyes. I don't know if that's completely different people, but that's crazy to think that my ideas, my theories, my experiments managed to go out to that many people. Like, that's crazy. Along with the YouTube statistics, I had my first video hit over 1 million views ever, which is so cool. And along with that, it also got over 10,000 likes on that video. So in terms of experiments, I started the weighted hang experiments, which in my opinion, I think is documenting some great results. Like my pull-up game has just amplified, like has just soared through the roof in just a short few months of doing weighted hang experiments. So I'm interested in keeping experimenting with that, but as I mentioned, I kind of took some time off the gym. So when I get back into it in the next few days to a week here, we're gonna see where I was at and if I managed to, you know, lose some strength. But again, I think that was a success and is something I managed to accomplish and stay committed to. And then along with that too, also the microdosing experiments, the neurohacking experiments. I was not expecting these to come about, especially this year. These were things that I always wanted to experiment with and push to the test. I've always wanted to push my mind to its limits, and I've been doing it on the side. But now I did a full, like, I believe the neurohacking experiments has at least 12 to 15 videos and might be up in that 20 video mark, which I think is extensive documentation for the neurohacking experiments and how I experimented extensively with meditation, nootropics, brain games, cold showers, and all those combined to try to naturally enhance my cognitive aptitude, my cognitive function. So in my opinion, I did some awesome experiments this year that I wasn't really planning on doing. So I committed to a lot at the beginning of the year that I didn't fully carry out, but then these other ones kind of came out of the blue. So that's what I want to keep myself available for this year. So if a unique experiment comes up that I can mitigate and add in, then I want to keep myself open for that, because honestly, I got some great results. I've learned a lot about myself through those, and I think they were completely beneficial for me, and they came into my life right when it was supposed to. Along with that, I also raised how much? 821 pairs of socks for the 519 pledge, which is a sock drive here in London, Ontario, which I didn't expect to happen. I knew I wanted to work with 519 Pursuit, which is an initiative here in London, Ontario to help combat homelessness. And I was like, yeah, I'll help you guys. I'll try to raise 519 pairs of socks, but I don't know how I'm going to do that by myself. And just with using Instagram and Facebook, and I'm not sure if I put it out here on YouTube for you guys, maybe a little bit. I think I documented it after, but just from Instagram and Facebook alone, together as a community, you guys helped me raise 821 pairs of socks that is now hopefully on the feet of homeless people here in the city, and preventing them from getting frostbite and putting them hopefully in a better situation in this world. So that, like, man, that was like a month out of my life of dedicating myself, talking to people, messaging people, driving to pick up a bag of socks from people halfway across the city. But I'm really glad I did it. I'm really glad I committed to that and I stuck with it. And it was something that, you know, I feel really good about that. So yeah, that's all I want to say about that. And then along with that, if you guys have been following along the journey over last year, I quit my job. I was working as a nighttime auditor for about 4 to 5 months, and from that I actually quit my job, and then I became a full-time videographer for Matt McKeever and Jeff Weibo. Then from that we hosted OREC, we hosted a mastermind in Las Vegas, and I was in charge of all the media behind it. And like, that was game-changing for me. It literally changed my life. Like, in Las Vegas, we had entrepreneurs from around the world who are crushing it in their fields. And I felt like I was in my element. I was with people who committed themselves to coming halfway across the world or halfway across the country just to attend this event. So it shows that they were committed. It shows that they were hungry. It shows that they wanted to learn. And those are the people I want to be around in life. I've questioned a lot with my journey here on YouTube, like, who do I want to be? And if I do get attention from YouTube, how do I want to represent myself? And I just want to make sure I'm getting around people who are pushing me. I only want to hang around with people who are, you know, higher than me, who are achieving and doing bigger and better things than me, because that's going to make me want to hustle and be better. And I noticed that over time I was becoming complacent. I was hanging around people who, you know, although they might have had major goals and ambitions, I personally don't believe they didn't put all the effort and energy involved that they could have been doing. Or if they weren't like those type of people, they're just people who just like, yeah, let's just hang around and smoke weed. Let's just not do nothing and just watch TV. And if you guys know me, I love smoking weed. I'm high right now, and I'm gonna get high right after this video, but I'm still committing myself to making this video. I'm still gonna edit this video after. So I believe I'm a very ambitious person, and being in Las Vegas and hanging around badass motherfuckers who are more ambitious than me and helping them to, you know, take all the information that I've gained in life and give them the knowledge to optimize themselves with, you know, concepts like fasting or trying to naturally raise your growth hormone levels, so that when you are traveling and being an entrepreneur and you're doing all these things that is not a typical normal lifestyle, that you need to understand how to manipulate your life. You need to live a situational lifestyle. So I was like, man, like, I'm in my element right now, and that's just what I want to do in life, along with, you know, building this YouTube channel, building Optimize. I don't think I've ever told you guys here on YouTube, but I want to write a few books. Like, I don't care to be in the limelight so much. There's other things that I want to accomplish. I want to change the way we scientifically test human beings, and that all is with what this video is about here today. So Vegas, the things that kind of just came up over last year working with Matt and Jeff made me really question and realize wow, this is something that I actually enjoy. That literally changed my whole mentality, and which is why I'm only committing to this one thing for this year. So without further ado, I should probably just tell you guys here that the only thing that I'm committing myself to over 2019 for the Hungarian Experiment YouTube channel is the human experiments. So in 2020, I want to launch, I don't think you'd call it a TV show, but it's going to be a show documenting and highlighting people that I believe represent great human experiments. So if you guys have been following along my journey, you know that I've done growth hormone testing. I've now done EEG brain scan readings. I've got my blood tested. I've done a lot of tests on my body that I've had to pay for out of my own pocket. Now, thankfully, some of you guys actually helped with a GoFundMe for me to help get some of this hormone testing done. But without your guys' help, I wouldn't have been able to do this myself. And I believe we need the government almost supporting this. We need other people out there in the world who are documenting their life extensively, which is already happening there on YouTube, and then we just get them to test themselves on a weekly basis. We get them to do a blood test, we get them to do a urine hormone sample test, we get them to do an EEG brain scan reading, so we can just see how their own factors in life are affecting them, and if they are interested in getting involved in any unique experiments, that we can then see how those experiments are affecting them. So if you guys are interested in following along over 2019, I'm not going to be mentioning this much here at all. That's why I'm making this whole separate video for you guys and really trying to break it down, because over 2019, throughout some of my vlogs, you might see me showing it and mentioning it, and I might make the odd video here and there to kind of highlight and bring attention to it and start, making YouTube titles that say human experiments. So things are going to start getting grouped together with the YouTube algorithm and everything. But I'm going to be mentioning it very, 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 very minimally here on my YouTube channel, and same with Instagram. I'm barely going to be talking about it until 2020. So if you guys want to see behind the scenes of all these people that I'm going to be studying and researching over 2019, then I really suggest following me along on Snapchat, because I'm going to be showing you guys here and there who I'm studying, a unique video of theirs that I think you guys might find interesting, and the whole reasons behind all of this. So for instance, a couple days back on my Snapchat, I showed you guys Josh Brigman, who is a YouTuber who used to be natural, and just about 9 to 10 weeks ago, he actually started experimenting with steroids and he started injecting himself. He showed his first injection. He's also making sure to be extensive with his documentation of his body fat levels, his weight, his food and caloric intake. Like, this guy, in my opinion, is a great example of what I believe it means to be a human experiment. We can draw a lot of conclusions off the steroid use he's now doing, along with the foods he's taking, along with the environment he's in. There's so many factors and so many things that we can draw conclusions on if we were studying him long term and then comparing him to others. Along with that, I mentioned on my Snapchat how one of my first human experiments along with Josh Brigman is going to be Charles Refus. And if you guys have been following along my journey for a long time, you know he's my buddy from Switzerland. We've never actually met up before, but back when we both started YouTube, we were back and forth on each other's channels, and we've been following each other's journey. And throughout all that time, he was on a plant-based vegan diet. And just recently, he actually made the switch back to just your regular, typical diet. And he's doing regular blood tests as well. So personally, I believe he is another great example of one of these human experiments. So with Charles and with Josh Brigman, I believe, they might get a lot of attention over the next year because of these unique experiments that they're doing. But as of right now, they don't have a lot of attention. So every month, I want to study one person who doesn't have a lot of attention that I think deserves it, and then I'm also going to study and research someone who has a lot of attention. So some people, for example, are like Alex from Alpha Destiny. We got Kino Body. We got Jeff Nippard. We got Vegan Gains. Who else do we got? We got Christian Guzman, Nikki Blackadder. There's so many people that I've been following along for so many years, and they've been vlogging their lives, and I've been able to follow along and see how these different factors are affecting them and their bodies and the development of their ideas and their theories and how they're carrying it all out. So I want to start cataloging all this, because I think there's a TV show here. I think there's a show to be created from this. Honestly, I find it fascinating to follow Josh Brigman, and I just found him. I've already researched like 2 to 3 hours about him just because I'm interested in what he's doing. I really have no intent on taking steroids. Maybe in the future, who the hell knows? But I just find it fascinating, and I believe other people will too. So there you have it, world. Over 2019, I'm only committing myself to one thing, and it's the human experiments. Every single month, I'm going to pick 2 to 3 of these human experiments, and I'm going to research them for about an hour to 2 hours a day. So that's going to give me anywhere from, about 15 to 25 hours on each person that I'm going to extensively research, and then I'm going to give them a grading. So I'm going to say, you know what, again, I haven't really dived into his life so far. Maybe just over the last 10 weeks he's been very extensive, but in my opinion right now, Josh Brigman is like an A at documenting his life. And the conclusions that we could draw if he did extensive scientific testing on his body, or for instance if it was funded by the government or funded by the human experiments. Now for instance, if we were to compare Matt McKeever, the guy I'm living with here at my house who does real estate, he documents his life. I get to see him, running around doing real estate, but I really don't know his food intake well from watching his videos. I know what he eats because I live here, but I don't know, I can't tell from his videos his food intake, his physical activity levels. I can't tell his sleep patterns. I can't tell a lot of the things that if we did start scientifically testing him, we couldn't draw a lot of conclusions from. So for instance, I'd give Matt McKeever like a C- as a human experiment. Now, if he started documenting his food intake a little bit more and started adding these other things in, I would up that rating. So that's my whole plan, and I want you guys to follow along the journey with me, and I'd love if you guys help me out with this. I want you guys to be part of this, and in 2020, when I go to launch this to the world, I really want to make this a community-orientated thing. I realized in the past that as I've been going through all these different experiments, like, people have reached out and be like, dude, we need to start this fasting group. Dude, you need to start a stomach vacuum community. And I was like, why? Like, I don't join those little niche communities, and that's just my opinion. No disrespect to you if that's what you enjoy and what you do. It's just I don't like that shit. So I realized that this human experiment thing, like, this needs a community, and this is what I'm passionate about, and I realize that this is something I need to do in life if I want to change the way we scientifically test human beings, or if I just bring it out there to the world that we need to be changing the way we scientifically test human beings. So I want to create a community around this. I want to get people being like, yo, no, Jeff Nippard's an A-, he's not a B+. Like, I want to get people like getting almost mad at the ratings that are going on and the systems, and I want people to help me create a better system for judging and classifying these people as human experiments. So if you guys are really interested, if you guys want to join me on my commitment for 2019, again, check me out on Snapchat, the-experiment. That is where I will be highlighting a lot of these people. If you're interested, send me some snaps. I want to know your opinions. Tell me what you think about these people. I'll try to get back to your messages as quickly as I can. This is a big reason I'm not committing myself to anything else. I'm not committing myself to any big experiments, because with Matt, we're going to be doing a shit load of traveling. Already for this year, we have plans to shoot videos in Jacksonville, Florida. We're going to Saskatoon, Saskatchewan here in Canada. I believe in the next month we're going to Winnipeg to shoot videos. We're also possibly going to Texas and California. So over 2019, my life is going to be extremely sporadic. Honestly, I'm already just struggling to get to the gym. So that is something that for myself, I want to commit myself to that. I'm not going to commit it to the YouTube channel, but I want to commit myself to get back into the gym a lot more. I'm committing myself to the human experiments. I've obviously committed myself to Matt and Jeff's branding. And then along with that, there's other things that I want for 2019, but I'm not exactly committing myself. So along with the human experiments, I want to become the biggest social media influencer in London. There's really no one that's holding this title. It's kind of a weird title, but it's like someone needs to have the attention of my city, and no one's really doing that right now. And it's not something that I'm power hungry to get, but I believe if I have more influence and I have more attention from Londoners, then I can put it to the people that I believe deserve this attention, like some of these human experiments, like 519 Pursuit, who's doing this amazing stuff here in our city. So I want to become the biggest social media influencer in 2019. So if you guys are following along my videos, that's a lot of what you're going to see in my vlogs. You're going to see me doing some interesting, weird social experiments so I can get attention from London, but it's not something I'm 100% committing myself to like I am the human experiments, like I did my stomach vacuum experiments in the past, where I'm gonna do this shit every single day. So thank you guys so much for watching this video. I apologize if it was just a little too long, but I want to be thorough with this shit. This is my journey through life, and this is your journey through life. No one's gonna take it serious for you. Everyone says, like, you know, oh, don't be so serious in life. It's like, if you're not serious about yourself, if you're not serious about your own goals, your own commitments, your own journey, no one's gonna be it for you. So this is something that I'm really committed to. I want to bring this out into the world. So once again, sorry if this video was too long, but as I mentioned, I'm not gonna be discussing this really much at all on my YouTube anymore until 2020. So you'll see it the odd time here and there, but make sure you guys are following me along on Snapchat if you're really interested to see the behind the scenes of the human experiments. And I'm really excited for this world. I think this is the thing that, if I'm just being honest here, is gonna get me a lot of attention, which again, I'm not power hungry to get, but I believe it was inevitable along my journey, and it's something that I have to do. This is the time. I've experimented with enough things. I've proven and justified that my experiments work, and now it's time to show that there are other people out there that we should be conducting these experiments on, and the purpose behind it, and what we can actually prove and justify if we make this a serious thing in the world. And I'd love your help along the journey. So thank you guys so much for watching this video. I'll see you guys over the course of 2019. Hopefully I'll see you on Snapchat, but I will see you guys in the next video. Let me know what you think about the human experiments in the comment section below. I'd love if you go hit that like button, and I'll see you in 2020 human experiments. I am the Hungarian experiment.